First and foremost, I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai Ba'Hashem Rakak Wadash. Yahweh is who this world ignorantly calls God. Yahushai is who this world ignorantly calls Jesus. Ba'Hashem means in the name. Rakah means spirit, and Kodash means holy. And that's all in the Paleo Hebrew. Also want to give double honors to the elder bishops and apostles of Great Millstone that taught me this truth. Today's video, I want us to go into how in the last days, the men of Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai will be performing great miracles. Okay? And through these great miracles is how a lot of people are going to wake up. Now, the reason I say this is because of this account in Acts, the 16th chapter. So, in Acts chapter 16, you see essentially how Paul and Silas, they were together, and they came to this one city. Start at verse 16, where there was this woman doing witchcraft. And yeah, it's a little bit to read, but essentially there's this woman doing witchcraft, and she was making a lot of her clients wealthy, being able to see in the future. So this is verse 16. It says, "And it came to pass as we went to prayer, a certain damsel possessed with the spirit of divination met us, which brought her masters much gain by soothsaying. The same followed Paul and us, and cried, saying, These men are the servants of the Most High God, which show unto us the way of salvation." Right? So the spirit in that woman was able to see that Paul and Silas were men of the Most High, which that's something that actually happens today. Okay, people will all of a sudden be negative towards you, right? Have that hateful eye towards you, because the spirit that is in them, the demons that are in them, can see the light in you. Yeah, you got to remember that, as it says in Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 12, our battle is not against flesh and blood, but against spiritual powers, spiritual wickedness in high places, against spirits. So the spirits in people can see the spirits in us. And if you're doing the right thing, more than majority of the time, you're going to begin evil spirits attracted to you, you know. But it says, "And it came to pass as he went to prayer, a certain damsel possessed with the spirit of divination met us, which brought her masters much gain by soothsaying." And when you go into that word soothsaying, it goes into pretty much being able to see the future, right? So imagine that nowadays, right? There are actually witches, warlocks out there that have the prophecy, that have the ability to see the future, but by the way of the left-hand side, right? Through numerology or whatever means. You know, they're able to, nowadays you can relate this to, let's say, NBA finals. You know, you might talk to a witch, a warlock, and he might tell you who's going to win. And you could bet your whole life savings, and boom, you just made a 2, 3, 4 million. So those types of things are here today. But it says, "The same followed Paul and us, and cried, saying, These men are the servants of the Most High God, which show unto us the way of salvation. And this did she many days, but Paul, being grieved, turned and said to the spirit, I command thee in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach to come out of her. And he came out the same hour." Right? So Paul rebuked that spirit, okay, that demon, okay, inside of her. And the same hour, through the name of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, that demon came out. So that right there is a miracle. You know, that's an act of power. And in these days to come, already in these days, more and more, we're going to start seeing these things get on another level. Because it says that, because the enemy shall come in like a flood, Isaiah chapter 59 and verse 19, "So shall they fear the name of Yahweh from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him." Right? And the enemy is going into these Edomites, these elites in power, okay, that their whole plan is to control everybody. Once they start cracking down, persecuting the believers, and really start trying to push their agendas, you know, that's when it talks about in Revelation, I think it's 12 and 12, it says, "The devil shall come down with great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time." Right? "The devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life." I think that's Revelation 2 and 10. Right? So when all these things start to happen, the enemy coming in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him. right? On the right hand side, the Lord is going to lift up a standard to be able to combat all this, right? And hey, scriptures talk about how the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. Let's get that. 2 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 4 says, "For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds." Right? The weapon that we have is not no sword. It's not a gun. It's this word. Okay? Scriptures talk about how the word of the Most High is sharper than any two-edged sword. Let's get that. The word of the Most High is sharper, two-edged. Hebrews chapter 4 and verse 12, "For the word of God is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and of the joints and marrow, and is discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart." Right? So, this word is the ultimate weapon, right? Because when you bring it out how it's supposed to be brought out, it's going to cut you. It's either going to uplift you or it's going to cut you, right? Because the Bible, if you believe in the Bible, a complete accountability comes with that. Right? You've been given a set strict of principles, morals, and if you're not following them, you're doing wrong. And if you're following them to the best of your ability, you're doing right. You're on the right path. Right? So that right there is complete accountability. And in this world, accountability is something that is not shown nowadays, especially among these women. As I say, a woman's kryptonite is accountability. So when you bring out this word, in the spirit, it cuts. So going back to in Isaiah chapter 59 and verse 19, "When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him." Right? So that means that a spiritual power is going to come. So let's keep reading in Acts, the 16th chapter. It says, "And when their masters saw that the hope of their gains was gone, they called Paul and Silas, and drew them into the marketplace unto the rulers, and brought them to the magistrates, saying, These men, being Jews, do exceedingly trouble our city, and teach customs which are not lawful for us to receive, neither to observe, being Romans." Right? So the men that were following that witch, once they realized that that witch wasn't able to do any works anymore, seeing the future, that means that they lost money. They weren't making any revenue anymore. So what did they do? They persecuted Paul and Silas. So it says, "And the multitude rose up together against them, and the magistrates rent off their clothes and commanded to beat them. And when they had laid many straps upon them, they cast them into prison, charging the jailer to keep them safely, who, having received such a charge, thrust them into the inner prison, and made their feet fast into the stocks. And at midnight Paul and Silas prayed and sang praises unto God, and the prisoners heard them. And suddenly there was a great earthquake, so that the foundations of the prison were shaken, and immediately all the doors were open, and everyone's bands were loosed." Right? So a complete miracle. Okay, the Most High had an earthquake pop up, and everybody all of a sudden was free. That's not something that just happens randomly. No actual earthquake, normal earthquake is gonna make your handcuffs, separate. All of a sudden, they unlock. No, that's the will of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai. So it says and how did that come? When you look at how that came, because Paul and Silas were praying and singing unto the Most High. That's how it began. So in these days, when we're in these times of necessity, we're going to do the same thing. And you best believe that the Most High is going to come through an even more miraculous fashions. Because as it says, it's going to be a time like never before seen. And if it's a time like never before seen, that means the Most High is going to perform miracles like never before seen. So, verse 27, "And the keeper of the prison, awaking out of his sleep, and seeing the prison doors open, he drew out his sword and would have killed himself, supposing that the prisoners had been fled." Right? The keeper of the prison, pretty much if all those prisoners went out, the authorities would blame it on the keeper. Right? They would think that the keeper let those prisoners go. Right? Because, how do you explain, the entire prison all of a sudden leaving? But it says, "But Paul cried with a loud voice, saying, Do thyself no harm, for we are all here. Then he called for a light, and sprang in, and came trembling, and fell down before Paul and Silas, and brought them out and said, Sirs, what must I do to be saved? And they said, Believe on the Lord Yahushua Mashiach, and thou shalt be saved, and thy house. And they spake unto him the word of the Lord, and to all that were in his house. And he took them the same hour of the night, and washed their stripes, and was baptized, he and all his straightway. And when he brought them into his house, he set meat before them, and rejoiced, believing in God with all his house. Okay, and that's what I wanted to go into today, is that this man, the keeper of the prison, he believed. He started believing through the miracle that happened. The fact that, hearing Paul and Silas praying, and all of a sudden a giant earthquake which leaves all the prisoners go, and Paul and Silas stay there. That's a massive miracle. And once he saw that, he knew that that wasn't something ordinary, that was the will of the Lord. And if the Lord is that powerful, he said, I want to be a part of that. I want to be a part of that group. I want to be on that team. So those same types of things are going to happen in this day. I believe it are going to happen. One of the reasons why is because it says that in that day, a man shall be worth more than fine gold. Okay? All of a sudden, people are going to be flocking towards the men of the Lord. It says Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 12. And when you go into this is in the context of Babylon the Great, America. So it says, I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. Right? So in these end days, things are going to start going back to the natural order. Okay? Of Yahweh being on top, Yahushua under, the man under Yahushua, and the woman under the man. Okay? And so on so. And the natural order is coming back. As Yahushua comes back, it gets closer to that day, slowly but surely, we're going to start seeing the natural order go back. Because once we start seeing civil war, we start seeing World War III, we start seeing hard times, famines, necessity, all that independent boss bitch, I don't need a man mentality is going to go out the window. Right? These women out here are already complaining that they can't make it by themselves. So imagine when shit actually gets hard, when your ribs are touching each other. In that day, they're going to realize, you know what? Fuck all that independent shit. I need me a man. I can't do this by myself. And that's part of why it says that in that day, a man shall be worth more than fine gold. Because, being a woman, you're not going to be able to fight in the end days by yourself. Being a woman, what are you going to do when a whole group of men are going house to house breaking down? You're not going to be able to defend yourself against 5 grown men. It's impossible. Right? So you're going to need a man yourself to protect you. And that's just the beginning of it. Now, when it says I will make a man more precious than fine gold, that's not talking about any ordinary man. That's talking about a man of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai. Right? Because a man of the Lord is going to have that divine protection. A man of the Lord somehow, some way is going to be able to make it through all types of trials and tribulations. To the fact that people are going to be gravitating towards you. They're going to be like, you know what? Why is this guy, not down? Why does he have a smile on his face with everything happening around us? They're going to be gravitating towards hope. And the greatest hope in this world is the faith in Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai. Right? Because, out of everything, the Lord is never going to leave us confounded. The Lord is never going to leave us in a state of perplexion, being destroyed. Right when we're about to crack, he always comes through. Always. So, in the end days, he's going to show up like never before seen. And these people are going to see that on us. They're going to see the glory. They're going to see the wisdom, the aura, the different energy, righteous vibration that we push. And like I said earlier, everything is spiritual. Even though they might not know why we're different, they're going to feel that man over there is different. You know what? Something about him is just different. I got to go see what he's on. I got to go see what he knows because he's too calm. He's too collected. That's going to be true gold is being in a stable mindset. That's true gold right there. Is a stable mindset in calamity during times of chaos. Okay, key example, in all these movies, you always see how you'll have, the first thing that will happen is let's say you have a group and you have the group leader. Everybody in the group will start freaking out. Oh, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? And you see the group leader, he's calm and collected. He's chilling. Even though inside he might be shitting himself, on the outside he has to show that calm and cool and collected and everything's fine a frame. Because if the group leader is freaking out, hey, we're all done. If the group leader is cooked, we're all cooked. So brothers out there, specifically talking to the brothers, none of your brothers sees that, we're entering times of great responsibility. People are going to be looking towards us for guidance, for answers, and the only way to be able to give that out is if we ourselves are on point, if we ourselves are grounded to the point where we're unshakable. Because in order to lead, you have to be able to lead yourself. So Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 12, I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. And I believe that's going to happen through the way of miracles, right? People seeing the men of the Lord doing miracles and, coming and looking for that protection also. Same thing with the persecution. I believe a reason the persecution is going to come so hard towards the believers is because these men are going to be out here performing miracles left and right. Let's read about the persecution. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 16. Chapter 69, or chapter 16 and verse 69. It says, Then they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach, and trodden under foot. For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. Now you got to ask yourself, what can possibly make it so that in every city, every place, people are going to be looking towards those that fear the Lord, the believers? What can possibly go down? And two things: mass persecution, where they label, or multiple things, but one of them being mass persecution, where on TV, worldwide, they're talking about these people are terrorists, these people are crazy, we need to take them out because they're the problem, and they might, coming with that rhetoric. The same way they brought false witness against Yahweh Shai is the same way it's going to happen to us, right? And the second thing that could happen is the miracles, right? People, one brother out there performing a miracle live, in front of a bunch of people, and imagine somebody records that and it goes viral, and people are talking about, that guy believes in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Hebrew Israelite, goes viral, and next thing you know, everybody wants to have a piece of that. So this could go a lot of ways, but one thing for sure is persecution is coming. It says, they shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. Okay? It says that some of us are going to have to be martyrs, right? Some of us are going to have to die in the name of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, just for a testimony. And if that's your lot, if that's your part of your story, then the Lord is going to give you a spirit to be able to deal with it. Okay, to be able to go out valiantly in honor. One thing that I'll say, if anybody goes through that situation of being in the end, head under a guillotine, is think about the story of the woman and the 7 holy children during the Greek captivity. How this Israelite woman with her 7 children, all 7 of her children were tortured, beaten, humiliated, and the mother, all humiliated, tortured by the Greeks for not eating a piece of pork. And every single one of them went out for not eating that piece of pork. Now, that's a powerful testimony. That's a powerful story. And that happened 2,000 years ago, roughly 2,300 years ago. And here it is, I'm talking about it today. So imagine going through a story like that, striving unto death in the end days for the name of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. For generations, for everlasting, they're going to be remembering what you did. Okay, the generations to come in the kingdom. Because I believe that once all this goes down, the elect make it through in the kingdom, once we're immortal, we're going to be talking about what we all went through. We're going to be talking about how the Lord came through, in the end days, Jacob's trouble. You're going to be talking about, nah, bro, you should listen to how the Lord came through for me, bro. I was at the bottom, bro. I was surrounded by cops. I had nothing on me. They had AR-15s pointed at me, and all of a sudden, I called upon the names of Yahweh, Bashim, Yahweh Shai, and I just flew in the sky. All of a sudden, I had a force field around me. They couldn't touch me. All types of testimonies of how the Lord came through in miraculous ways. Okay, and you got to have faith to actually believe it. Scriptures talk about how the Lord in that day will work a work that even though he told us, we wouldn't be able to possibly believe. Habakkuk chapter 1 and verse 5, behold ye among the heathen, and regard and wonder marvelously, for I will work a work in your days, which ye will not believe, though it be told you. Right? So the Lord is going to come through so crazy that he could tell us what he's going to do, and we still won't believe it. That's how cold it's going to be. And he said that he's going to top what he did in ancient Exodus. Okay, with Moses splitting the Red Sea. Yeah, it's going to top that. So, we're living in some beautiful times. We got DJ Trump in here in the building talking about he's going to make America great again and the best times of America are about to come back and blah, blah, blah. He's not going to do none of that. Trump is the biggest trump card that America has ever seen. He is, that when they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction come. Shit is about to get difficult, and Trump is about to push it right to your face. Okay, these people are about to get caught with the left hook. Right now they're being jabbed at. Things have been going slowly. They catch a jab, they recover, but soon that left hook that you didn't see coming is about to smack you. It's about to knock these people out. So, it's beautiful, man. I get excited because, in these times, man, just getting beat up, going through these trials and tribulations, sometimes the world, weighs down on you. You forget, what you're working for. You forget that, what we're going through is nothing. We're living in beautiful times. Yahweh Shai, he himself said that many men desired to see the times that you're in. Right, Matthew chapter 13 and verse 17, for verily I say unto you that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which ye see, and have not seen them, and to hear those things which ye hear, and have not heard them. Right, so just think about that. Okay, all the righteous men behind us. Think about yourself. If you're righteous right now, then that means that in all your previous lives, you were righteous. Okay, because you come back in your same lot. Okay, reincarnation. So imagine all the lifetimes that we've been through doing this work, and we have to just pass away. And it seems like we might be finally in the lifetime that everything kicks off, that the Lord finally comes through. So just thinking about that, many men have desired to see those things which you see and have not seen them, and to hear those things which you hear and have not heard them. And we've been blessed with the opportunity to hear all these things. Right now we're hearing about World War III building up, at the hands of Israel, as exactly how the scriptures say in Jeremiah 50, Jeremiah 51, how the least of the flock shall draw them out and draw out America into World War III. The least of the flock talking about these Israelis. So the same way it's written, we're seeing it right in front of us. We're seeing how America can be destroyed in 1 hour. Okay, when we read in Revelation, you got to think about it. 2,000 years ago, John wrote about how Babylon was going to be destroyed in 1 hour. Now, somebody might read that back then and be like, damn, how is that going to happen? What kind of technology, what kind of, army can destroy a city in 1 hour? Today, we can see what he was talking about. In 30 minutes, Russia can send a hypersonic missile and all of America is obliterated. So we're seeing it play out. This is not no joke. This is not no fairy tale. The same way it's written, it is happening. Okay, as it says in Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 3, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. Right? It says at the end it shall speak and not lie. The vision is speaking and it's not lying. The same way it was written, it is happening. So I'll leave it with this. One thing I always think about is the same way that all these prophecies about major destruction are taking place, are coming to pass. Hey, if the Lord is having the destruction prophecies take place, the salvation prophecies are also going to take place. The Lord coming through for his servants is also going to take place. Always remember that the Lord is always there. He's always looking. He's always ready to deliver. It's just that sometimes, it's not time for it yet. And sometimes we're fucking up ourselves and we're delaying it. Okay, so I'll end it with this, going into that point. How the Lord is always ready to deliver, but it's our sins that have separated us from him. Isaiah chapter 59 and verse 1. Behold, the Lord's hand is not shortened that it cannot save, neither his ear heavy that it cannot hear. But your iniquities have separated between you and your God, and your sins have hid his face from you that he will not hear. Right, so sometimes why he ain't answering your prayers is because you're fucking up. And you need to apply yourself also and get your shit on point. And you realize, as the scriptures say, once you get your shit on point, you're serving the Lord, then everything comes. Okay, let's finish with that. In Joshua chapter 1 and verse 8. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. So focus on this book, and then everything is going to come out all right. Hopefully this is edifying. With that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakak Wadash, and double honors to the outer bishops and apostles of Great Millstone that taught me this truth. Shalom to you, like Shalom.